so I'm just gonna test it real quick.
No problem.
This listing in particular, it said untested. I see artifacts right now on the screen. You see those horizontal lines?
Yeah.
Your computer doesn't seem to have a valid GPU to test, even though it is in there and it, it's giving a signal. It's time for another used part pickup ride along. In this one, we are picking up the RTX 2080 Ti. And this is for a buddy of mine who frantically reached out to me saying his 980 Ti could not play the latest game that he wanted to play. So he asked me if I can help him get an upgrade for around 200 to 300 bucks. And ideally, I wouldn't be getting him a 20 series card because by this point they're like 5, 6-ish years old. But the market completely sucks right now. AMD, Nvidia, and Intel, they just don't have any cards like brand new that are good value at this price range. Intel has the B580, but you can't even buy those. They're like just sold out. And then Nvidia and AMD, anything in this price range from the previous generation, they've stopped manufacturing them. So all those prices are just like super out of whack right now. I'm trying to get my friend a card before the market gets even worse. It's getting pretty bad right now. You guys probably have noticed prices of everything has gone up. So we got to get the 20 series card, but for the price that, the seller has it listed for and the performance it gives, it should work out good for my friend. This listing in particular, it said untested in it. So yeah, interesting. We're definitely going to be testing it before I hand over any money. So I will tell you more about the deal on the ride over. But first, a quick word from this video sponsor. This video is brought to you by OBSBot and their Tiny 2 Lite AI-powered 4K PTZ webcam. PTZ as in pan, tilt, zoom. This camera lives up to its name. It is tiny, but it still packs a 1/2-inch CMOS sensor capable of sharp 4K video quality, good low light performance, and is ideal for streaming, which is exactly what I use it for every single Wednesday when I do my live streams. This camera features AI auto tracking with auto zoom with gesture detection to make it easy to control even if you're not sitting at your computer. What I really love about the Tiny 2 Lite is the phase detection autofocus. I used to struggle with getting things to focus on the stream all the time, but ever since switching over to the Tiny 2 Lite, autofocus hasn't been an issue. It's super quick to snap into focus exactly when I need it to. The Tiny 2 Lite pairs with the OBSBot Center software to give you control over everything you need. Like, I love the ability to set different presets. I have one for my usual talking head position at my desk, a tracking mode for when I get up or move around, and a test bench angle for when I'm building PCs. If you're interested in learning more about the Tiny 2 Lite or other awesome products from OBSBot, check out the link in the description below. Thanks OBSBot for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it. So the card I'm going to pick up right now is the EVGA RTX 2080 Ti XC Ultra something. It's the one with the clear shroud. This one was listed on Facebook Marketplace for $235. So performance-wise, the 2080 Ti comes in right around the 3070. Now I messaged the seller asking if they would take $200 for it, and they countered back with $220, which is totally reasonable. $235 is a decent price to begin with. It's not like it was horribly bad like the rest of, the used marketplace usually is. So they said $220, and they actually messaged me saying, hey, your name looks familiar. Are you a YouTuber by chance? In terms of people like recognizing me in person, I've had multiple occasions where people recognize me once they see my face, but regards to recognizing me through messaging, like the app and stuff like that, whether it be OfferUp or Facebook, I don't recall that happening in the past before. And if it has happened, it definitely doesn't happen frequently at all. Definitely way less than people recognize me once we get face to face and meet up. So yeah, I told them, yep, I'm Danny from Nerd on a Budget. And the person whose name is Caden, they were actually in a previous stream recently in the chat, in the stream, and I after they said that, I actually recognized their name. So one thing about this listing, I had sent multiple messages to people because I was kind of in a rush to try to get a card. So I sent out like messages to 3 people with like 2080 Supers and 2080 Ti's and stuff like that. I forgot which card was which. So this card, and I had forgotten about it, is in the listing. He said it is untested, and I totally forgot it was the case when I already set up to meet up with him and everything. So I messaged him asking, oh, what's up with this? He says he doesn't have the ability to test it at the moment, which I find a little odd. Maybe he hasn't built his new computer yet, and maybe he's building for the first time and actually doesn't have anything. He said he got this card from an estate sale, and everything else he got in terms of electronics wise and the things picked up from that estate sale seemed to be fine with no issues. And he said, I'm free to test it, so that's what we're actually gonna do. And we are meeting at a Bank of America. Good, how are you?
Good.
Nice to meet you, by the way.
Nice to meet you.
So I'm just gonna test it real quick.
No problem.
Wait, so you said you got this from an estate sale?
Yeah, it was in a big box with a bunch of video games. And it was at the bottom of the tote.
Gotcha. Wait, do you not have a PC right now?
No, I do.
Okay.
I was too lazy to test it, honestly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem. I love testing anyway, so
Yeah.
it's like, even if you didn't test, because it's going to a buddy of mine,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that there's no problems. Do you mind me asking how much everything was and like how much this ended up working out to be?
I paid about $800 for the whole tote, and I got 2 NESs, an older Xbox.
Uh-huh.
So I think the other video games were around 1,000, and then...
Oh, wow. So it more than paid itself off.
Yeah.
I had actually messaged multiple people, like 3 different people for like 2080 Super, 2080 Ti's.
Yeah.
But you were the closest one, so I was like, oh, thank goodness. He responded. My biggest concern is VRAM on cards of this generation.
Yeah.
Because so I had a ex-miner donate me a bunch of graphics cards. They were older,
Yeah.
the GTX 1070s and stuff. It ended up being that 3 of the 4 cards had burnt out ceramic capacitors on the back.
Oh, yeah.
Due to mining, because I think the VRAM was heavily overclocked. So because these cards were around during like that peak pandemic and mining, it could be likely that it was used to mine. So, whoops, just popped out. Okay, so we got an image. That is a good sign. So, let me make sure there's nothing wrong going on here, and if there's nothing wrong with my connection. So, not to be alarming, but I see artifacts right now on the screen. You see those horizontal lines.
Yeah.
I've actually never seen this message before. Your computer doesn't seem to have a valid GPU to test, even though it is in there. Oh, so it recognizes it here.
Yeah.
2080 Ti, but now it recognizes it here, but it says it's not valid for the test. It doesn't even let me start this test. Let me restart real quick.
Okay.
Let me reseat everything just in case that is it.
So why would that error pop up that it doesn't recognize it?
I've actually never seen that error before.
Yeah, I haven't either.
So the only thing I can think of is if it has like a different BIOS flashed on it, it might be that. But yeah, this is actually a first time for me running into this. So I'm just gonna make sure all the connectors are reseated all the way in, just to make sure that's not the problem. Okay, so that's good. Got the power there. Let me reseat these in. If it requires like a BIOS flash, I don't mind doing that. I can't do it here because we need internet, and I would have to go download that at home and everything. But actually, let me pull back up GPU Z.
Okay.
And I'm gonna look at the BIOS on it, and then I'm gonna look it up and see if it's like the official stock one.
Okay.
Unless it just ends up working, and so there's no lines here, you see.
Yeah.
So, and now the lines are gone.
Yeah.
I had this happen before, and sometimes it's due to a dirty connector, like the PCIe connector.
Yeah.
So like reseating it, like cleans it off or something.
Yeah.
But wow, okay. So this is a good sign. Fingers crossed that it doesn't give that same message. Okay. Looks like there's no problems. I'm just gonna do a quick VRAM test. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this and let it run for a couple of cycles. What graphics card did you have before you got your 5080?
It was a 1080 Ti.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Do you still have that? Wait, were you the one who's saying that you're trying to sell one, or no?
Yeah, I did end up selling it.
Oh, how much did you end up selling it for?
500.
The 1080 Ti?
1080 Ti, it was 8700K build.
Oh, you sold the whole build?
The whole build, yeah.
I thought to say like the one card.
Oh, yeah.
Those are worth like 150
Yeah.
maybe. Okay. No errors detected here, and that's just a VRAM test. I do want to check the core out. Run this real quick. I also didn't realize until I looked back at the listing again that I looked it up to make sure the length would fit in this tiny case that I have. And it's kind of nice that this generation is like before they exploded.
Yeah.
And for it to like fit in the case. But then I looked at the picture, I was like, oh crap, these are 3-slot cards too. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
So it's so weird how it's 3-slot, but the length is like very manageable compared to modern cards. But yeah, I mean, no artifacts here. FPS is, I mean, as is expected, temperature 60 degrees. Sweet, so I can give you the money, 220. Thanks for being able to knock it down a little bit. I appreciate it. And then, here's a vinyl sticker for like water bottle or something. Just
and then if you have any problems, just message me and I'll give him his money back.
Okay, yeah, for sure. As soon as I get home, I'm gonna put it on a test for like 24, 48 hours. And I mean, if that passes that, we should be in the clear. So
yeah, nice to meet you.
All right, nice to meet you as well.
I'll be in your chat later.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so here is the card. I like the look of this. It's transparent, but you can't really see it once, you know, it's put into the computer like this. But looking at the shroud, looks nice. So, all right, gotta get home. We do have the stream tonight. All right, we are back home now, and I'm just gonna reset up the test bench with the card, and I'm gonna run OCCT I'm gonna set it for 24 hours. All right, stress test is started, and yeah, now I just wait. All right, so as of right now, the 2080 Ti has been stress testing for over 7 hours. Everything is looking good and no errors so far. So I'm pretty confident that we're in the clear, but I'll let this run overnight. It's getting pretty late now. And I'll show on the screen the results after the full 24-hour test has been run. But yeah, another successful part pickup. And I want to give a huge thanks to Kaden again for taking a little bit off of the asking price there. And just for being a super chilled person and reassuring me that, you know, he'll give me the money back if anything is wrong. But I think at this point, like, I've had the card for long enough, I've stress tested it long enough. If anything goes wrong, either in me or my friend's hands, that's kind of on us. So yeah, if that happens, I don't think I'm gonna go running back to him. I feel like that would be kind of a scummy thing to do, because obviously he sold the card, I tested it, I left the transaction. It should be that. Once you leave the deal, it's in your hands. That's it. I had my time to test it in front of him. So yeah, aside from that little anomaly there where the quick receipt fixed it, this was a pretty smooth transaction. It's kind of strange because I've thrown so many different graphics cards into my test bench, and I've never had an issue with needing to reseat it when it was like my own card. And even picking up like graphics cards from other people, there's been plenty of videos where I've tested stuff with no problems whatsoever. But now this is the second time that something like this has happened. The first time was like 2.5 years ago, but now it's been 2 instances to date of weird stuff like that happening. So, I mean, I guess that's a pretty good track record, so I guess I'll take it. I don't know, maybe I just need to like insert and reinsert cards like a few times every time I meet up. But alright, that's it for this video. Hope you guys found this either entertaining or useful in one way or another. Let me know down in the comments below, as always, if you picked up any good deals in your local market recently. But also let me know, you know, what the market is looking like where you live. Are you seeing the same thing as me with regards to like the price of hardware in this performance range going up pretty noticeably? This card versus a 3070 does have its pros and cons. Obviously, it has the additional 3 gigs of VRAM, so that's nice for if you're starting to push like higher resolutions and textures and stuff like that. And it should overclock better because these are binned better than the 3070s, but it is a generation older. It has a higher power draw, and the ray tracing capabilities are definitely worse than the 3070 if you care about that stuff. But either way, I'm happy finding this deal given the current climate that my local market is looking like. But I'm curious, for $220, if you had a choice between a 2080 Ti or a 3070 and you were in the market for that level of a card, which one would you choose? And no, you cannot choose the 6700 XT to get that sweet 12 gigs of VRAM. This questionnaire is specifically asking between 3070 and 2080 Ti, so let me know down below. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me though. Thank you as always for watching and for continuing to support the channel. Thank you to the channel members for their above and beyond support. As always, be safe out there, and I'll see y'all down in the comments as well as the next stream and or video. Bye.